Just when America has reached a breaking point with division, visionary influencer Danni Benson's I'm Proud of You Sis bro movement taps into the pulse and heartbeat of a culture radically torn. But this loving mom's voice of reason and calm has received national recognition.
How'd you balance having your children and always traveling with the Yankee organization?
When I became a dad, I said that I would always love like a mother.
I feel like I have to hide certain things or act a different way because I know some people or some kids feel like they have to.
As part of the Chapters Network, Benson brings a weekly show aired worldwide on YouTube and Facebook, and her message is creating positive change. That's Wednesday at 6 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Hey, hi everyone. Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone is having a great week. I am wearing blue because, first of all, I'm Danni Benson. I am the host of I'm Proud of You Sis. Hey everyone, how you doing? Well, I'm wearing blue because the LA Rams won. Hey, it was a great Super Bowl weekend. I mean, the commercials were so funny. I just watched the show for the commercials, and the halftime show was pretty decent too. It just gave me like nostalgia, and the whole conversation was about this halftime show, like what generation was it for? Was it Generation X or was it for the millenniums? And when they were talking about that, wow, it made me feel so old. But I'm going to tell you right now, that was like one of the best eras to grow up in. I am so proud to be like part of that era of just having a good time with friends and family and college and partying, and just compared to now, it just seems like the world was so much more innocent back then. So just hearing like the music from the halftime just brought back like to days of just like no Facebook, no Instagram. I think I had a Motorola Star Trek phone for the first time. And, it was simple. And I think I still had a beeper, but I think I'm telling my age. But hi, everyone. It's Wednesday. And I am here today because so happy that the numbers are dropping down for COVID. So I think everyone is like ripping their mask off. But I have Tawana Charles here because I want to bring her flowers because it's time for us to talk about life insurance. And not life insurance because you are so old that you're about to die. I just think that it's important to get life insurance. The younger you are, the cheaper it is. And that means a dollar amount of policy that you can obtain. And one thing I have to tell everyone, even if you do get life insurance at your job, because some jobs do provide it and they pay for it, or you pay a little bit each month out of your check, just be aware that you should also get outside life insurance, because if you ever leave that job, that life insurance that is part of your job does not follow you. So that is a very, very important thing to consider. Also obtaining life insurance outside of your job. But here is Tawana Charles here. Is Tawana Charles to talk about life insurance, which is so important because we just had COVID and it was unexpected. And, life insurance, it's a good thing because you could also borrow against your life insurance too, that people don't understand.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not only, that's why they call it life insurance, because It's not only like if you are dying, dead, or maybe you get hurt on a job and you are disabled, but life insurance has other parts that are important too. So that's why I brought you in, because I'm trying to get like younger people to get life insurance. So tell me, like, what I just said about life insurance. Tell me other ways that you could use your life insurance besides like you thinking that you're going to get it because you're going to die.
So it's just like I said, it's just like you said already. Some people get life insurance through their job, but like you said, if you get fired from your job or you leave your job, that insurance policy does not carry along with you, which is a good job. I'm mixing up my words, which is best to always buy insurance outside of your work. Get your own private insurance because it's very important. A lot of people, once they hear life insurance, they think it's you're preparing for your death. No, not exactly. It's basically to provide a financial stability for if anything was to happen, you know? So, but the pros of buying life insurance for a child, though, it guarantees insurability, right? You know that you're insured. The number one reason why you should get insurance for your children is because it costs less. It's very cost effective. Compared to the older you are, the more you pay. You know, the younger you are, the less of your premium, and it's locked in. That's the best part.
And why is that? Explain to the audience, why is it better to get life insurance the younger you are?
Oh, best, like you said, cash accumulation. You can borrow from your insurance. Cash accumulation, which is when you buy a whole term, because you got to know the difference between term and whole. Term is for a temporary moment, and it's very costly effective because you could pay as little as $5. You might pay a little bit more with whole life, but with your whole life, you provide cash for your whole life. You understand? So
basically what the word means, your whole life.
Yes, your whole life. You're for a lifetime, which is for your life period, right? And the best thing about it is we want kids to go to school or continue their education. If they do have that whole life insurance since they were a child, 10, 15 years from now, they will have enough cash accumulation that they can use for themselves.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you're telling me, like, if I get life insurance for my kids right now, at this moment, they can potentially, when they get to college age, have that accumulation of cash capital where they can withdraw it and pay for their college?
Yes, they definitely can. Just one phone call.
I never knew that before, but that is something that I don't even think my parents knew that.
What people usually say, they like, I know a lot of arguments are out there saying that if you get a cash accumulation, if anything happens to you, and if you die or whatever the case may be, God forbid, you lose that cash accumulation. True, that is actually guaranteed true, but why not use your cash? You know, why not use it?
Explain that to me.
There, like, use it.
You're saying that if once that person dies, the cash goes with that person.
The cash, actually, no, the cash, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's something that you have to use. You can use it towards your premium to pay off your premium, which a lot of people don't know. If you put your cash back into your premium, you're not going to pay for a lifetime. You actually will have a shorter period to pay. Some people don't know that.
So what, you know what? I don't know anything. I'm like learning so much right now. Okay. So say that to me one more time so the audience can understand, because there's a lot of times I go sit down and speak to representatives of life insurance companies, and the way you're breaking it down, I've like never really heard it said that way before.
Right.
So maybe like the audience has the same experience as me. So just break it down one more time so the audience can understand.
So we're going to start off like this. You have multiple types of life insurance, right? But the two that a lot of people compare is term and whole, right?
Okay. So can you see me? Can you see me?
Yes, I can see.
Okay.
All right. Term, right? Term could be up to 10, 20, or 30 years, right? And that you will have a lock fixed in rate for those 10, 20, 30 years, which you have to renew without no checkups, no medical, nothing. You'll just be able to renew it because you already were insured before, but your rates will be different. But if you have a whole life and you get it at a younger age, you will have a fixed low rate that will carry you for a lifetime. Now with whole, it provides a little bit of, applies a little bit more. You'll get cash accumulation, which is cash that will compound, correct? Yeah. You will have you have guaranteed insurability. You have capital protection, which means that nobody can subpoena your money. It's yours, right? And the best part, dividends. You get a check every year that you could put towards your premium or you could use for yourself. So you get cash accumulation as well as dividends.
Wow. So how early should parents get life insurance for their children?
The minute they're born.
You can get life insurance the minute
You could be paying as low as $26 for a whole life. The younger you get,
per
especially
year.
per year. I mean, no, per month. Per month. I'm sorry.
Wow. So basically, as soon as the baby is born, you can put life insurance on that child.
Correct.
So I wonder why we don't. I think that when you think about life insurance, I honestly just think about just dying and leaving money for my loved ones. I never really think about it.
There's more to life insurance than just that. It's more than just providing funds for you. It's providing funds for your family as well. It's to protect your family.
Wow. Okay. So what age should young kids, maybe my parents couldn't afford life insurance, because they had 2 jobs, they had to pay the bills, they had to put food on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm out of my mom's house. I just graduated high school. Do you think that I should get life insurance going into college?
Yes, definitely.
But is it more affordable? Because the thing with life insurance is affordability. There's so many things going on in people's lives right now.
Right.
Especially right now with inflation. Like everything has gone up tremendously.
Right. Correct.
The reason I know life insurance is important is because we never know when it's our time to go.
Exactly. We don't know. We don't have a lot of people says the future is here, the future is now, but we should think in the present for the future, for what is unknown.
So this is the way I'm thinking. A lot of kids might feel, because it's just me now, I don't have no kids,
right?
That why should I get life insurance? Because if I die, I just die. It's not like I'm gonna die and leave it to somebody.
Right. But another thing they should also think about, who's gonna cover for your expenses? Who's gonna cover for your debt?
See, most times we think our parents or our loved ones is going to cover for our death and our expenses. But that is really a good point. Even though we are young, you're right. Are we just assuming that our loved ones does have the money to cover our expenses? Because funerals are very, very expensive.
Very, very expensive. Very expensive.
And especially like what happened with COVID, when it just something that sprung on us. And not to say that people don't die every day. Yes, people die every day.
Right.
But COVID to me, and I'm not speaking for everyone else, but I'm assuming the same, was a shocker.
Yes.
Like the world just stopped March 16th, 2020. I was at my kid's school and I was like, hey, like I was kind of joking around about this COVID thing. I'm like, hey, like, what are we doing about this COVID thing? Like, what are we doing? Like, and then that was that morning of March 16th, 2020. By the time the afternoon came and I had to pick up my kids, it was like mayhem. It was like we're shutting down. I felt like it was World War III. I was like, what is going on? It was like we have 24 hours to go get food in the supermarket, and then we have to lock down. And my first thought was, oh my goodness, how many of us have life insurance?
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Because I think of all of the deaths, my God bless their soul, and other people died besides people having COVID, but all of their death. And I'm like, so many people probably didn't have life insurance to even cover funeral costs.
Yeah.
And that's what's funny about life insurance, because they want us to have house insurance automatically, because if your house burns down, they want you to have car insurance automatically, because you might get into an accident. You never know.
Correct.
But it's amazing how we don't require life insurance.
Right. It's they don't make it as a priority because, like you said, a lot of people say, I'm young, I don't really need it. But the minute they start a family and they start thinking about the bigger picture, then they're like, oh my gosh, maybe I should consider life insurance. I've talked to plenty of 18, 19, because I said, look at it like this. Do you know that you can get life insurance so that you can actually buy a home down the line?
Oh,
that your life insurance policy can actually pay for your down payment or even your closing costs? Have you ever considered that? Because life insurance is also an investment in yourself. And that's what a lot of people are not understanding. Life insurance can be an investment.
Okay, so Why are we not understanding this? Are they actually targeting the young to explain this to them? Because every time I speak to a life insurance representative, it just makes it just talk about when you die. Okay, when you die, this is what's going to happen. When you die, you're going to need to get a casket. When you die, you're going to need to pay for a funeral cost. When you die, you're going to they never really talk about what you're talking about. They never really tell me that the importance of having life insurance when you're young, and I can use a life insurance while I'm alive.
Right. Because life insurance is for the living. That's what it is. A lot of people think it's for after death. It's not after death. It's for your life, your actual current life, your living body.
So then tell me how it works. If I got my life insurance at 18 years old and in 10 years I wanted to get a house, tell me how the process works with me trying to get this life insurance to get a down payment into my first home.
Right. All you have to do is continuously use your continue to keep making your payments. Do not miss a payment. Always talk with an agent about new opportunities or anything that you can change, or you can actually put money into your, like I said before, it's an investment. You could put more money into your life insurance because you also have an savings in your life insurance. Which what I said earlier about cash accumulation and dividends. If let's say you got a rate of $80, right, that you're going to be paying monthly for a whole life, because yes, whole life is a little more expensive compared to term because it is an investment. Let's say you like, I'm going to put an extra $20 into my investments life insurance policy. That is going to be an amazing adjustment because now you have an investment savings in your life insurance policy.
So
you
what
could
is the
put money into.
Okay, so what is more beneficial to get for a young person? Term
Whole.
life or whole life?
Whole life.
Okay, because whole life means that once you get it at that rate, it stays at that rate.
Fixed. Fixed. It is not flexible. It is
so
fixed.
Okay, so you're telling me that if I get it at 18 years old, and God forbid, like this happened to my sister, but that's another story. 10 years later, she had breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
That means that life insurance stays fixed at that number regardless if she has breast cancer or not.
If she purchased it before then, yes, but she should continually have it even through that.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying. Like,
and also, here's another thing. If you had the right agent to work with you, if you couldn't make those payments anymore, there is a way, an add-on that's already added on to anybody's insurance policy, where if she couldn't no longer pay, as long as she showed proof of the fact that she's going through treatment and she can no longer pay, your insurance policy will actually pay for your insurance policy without another dime coming from you.
What?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, because obviously you're experiencing a illness where your cash flow, your money might be lowered than it was previously. So basically the life insurance that you have will understand that.
Right.
Will cover the cost until you get better, where you can get back on your feet, where you can pay the whole monthly payments again.
Correct.
I never knew that.
Right.
So is it because I have like the wrong people like talking to me? That never told me
it's
that?
all about information. We all are learning something new. Like another thing that I've learned, like you said it yourself, like they require us to have mortgage, what did I say?
House insurance.
House insurance, right? Homeowners insurance, right? But a lot of people don't know that they can get mortgage protection in their insurance policy as well. Where if anything was to happen to them, the insurance policy will cover for their mortgage.
Really? But that has nothing to do with home insurance. Home insurance just covers
homeowners insurance is all about liability. If anything was to happen to your home.
My home.
But
life
nothing
insurance
has to happen to
protects you if anything happened to you. So if you lost
your
job.
Right. No, not exactly if you lost your job. More like if death happens. More like if death happens, they will cover your mortgage. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Are they supposed to tell us this, or we're supposed to ask those questions? Because I realized something. If you don't ask the right questions, you don't get the answers.
The
Like, people
answers,
don't
correct.
volunteer answers and
Right.
solutions anymore unless
Right.
you ask the right question and then they give it to you.
But sometimes when you want to sit down with somebody, let's talk about life insurance. The minute somebody hears the word life insurance, everybody is like, "Oh, I'm not gonna die yet. It's too scary," because death is a scary subject, but it's something people needs to talk about. Just like you talk about relationships and marriage and having kids, that should be brought up into a conversation as well.
And that's why I think this conversation was important for people to understand. One thing about life is we pay taxes and we die.
Right.
We die. It's one of those things that it is so scary to talk about, because even me talking about it is, I'm scared to die. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, it's not something I'm looking forward to.
Right.
I mean, I am a good person, so it's not like I'm scared to die because I think I'm gonna go someplace, wherever you believe,
Right.
I just don't want to leave my kids. I don't want to leave my loved ones.
Right.
So of course it's scary to me to talk about life insurance because it just makes you feel kind of like weird talking about your death to come.
Right.
Right. But it is important to have life insurance and to talk about it and to have it settled, because I think it's unfair for your family members who might not have the money to hold that burden of having your funeral. And sometimes when I see like GoFundMe's and stuff like that, like I do try my best to contribute to people who are in need. But I feel that everyone should start having that conversation about, instead of putting that load on your loved ones once you leave, that you should acquire life insurance. And like what Tawana is saying, the younger you are, the cheaper it is. So if you get it from the moment the child is born, and if you can maintain it, or get the policy where, God forbid, something happens to you, you can't pay it for a little bit of time, but it's in your policy where it can cover, because life does happen.
Yes.
It's probably cheaper to get it once the baby is born, because even if the baby gets sick along the way, if it's like a whole life, that number will never go up, right?
It won't. As long as you continue to make your payments, it won't. It will be a fixed rate.
I mean, that is so good to know. And I wish, like, my parents, you know what? I learned in life is evolving. What our parents didn't know, we get to know. And what we find out, we get to tell our kids. And what our kids, it's an evolving experience of information that's handed down from one generation to the other.
Right.
So what you just said to me, what you just shared to me, is so important to get life insurance, especially if you know it gets more expensive as you get older. Because the older you get, guys, you start breaking down like a car. A car is good for a good 100,000 miles, maybe. And after that, all of a sudden, you go into the mechanic, like for this, because it's getting old. It's getting run down. And therefore, life insurance is more expensive, because now it's more expensive to get you fixed.
Exactly.
Right? Instead of getting that life insurance when the car is nice and shiny and it's not going to give a problem, we might think that we're losing money, because it's like, why am I covering this car, for instance, this life, when nothing probably is not going to happen to this life?
Right.
But it's not what happens now when they're young. It's the benefit of you having it at a fixed rate when you were young as you get older.
Right.
So you don't have to pay like $400 a month. Like, if you're 40 and up and you have like diabetes, hypertension that you didn't have 20 years ago in your 20s, you pay more money in your 40s for having high blood pressure, diabetes, as opposed to in your 20s when you were younger.
Right. Exactly.
You would probably pay like so far less.
Yep.
So that's why Tawana, I wanted to give you your flowers, because I think it's so important for everyone in this world, especially going through this pandemic. And God bless everyone who's lost a loved one, and not even with the pandemic, but we lose loved ones every single day for all elements that we go through in life. It could be a car accident. It could be you die in your sleep. The thing is, we all are going to die, but we just don't know when we're going to die. So it is very important that, just like we protect our most prized possessions and put life insurance on our most prized possessions.
Exactly, like
It
on
is
jewelry.
jewelry. We put it on our
Right.
car. We put it on our house. We put it on everything. We are a prized possession too,
Exactly.
everyone. We are an investment too, everyone. And you should definitely obtain life insurance to protect you and your loved ones. Not because we're thinking about death. It's really because we're thinking about life while we're alive.
Yeah.
So what I know you don't want to talk about what company you represent, but what other advice that you give for people who are seeking or want to seek to get life insurance or obtain life insurance?
Or they can always just, as long as they talk to an agent or know anybody that has the information to sit down and talk about all their options, then that's the first thing they need to do, is to actually talk to somebody they could trust, who would give them all the information, be very transparent, because transparency is what's important. Honesty is what's important. Let them know the good, let them know the bad, let them know the difference between term, the difference between whole, understanding how to get a mortgage protection, learn how to get annuities, try to understand why is it more an investment than anything else than just a death sentence. Like, they just need to get all the information.
Well, Tawana Charles, thank you so much for sharing this information.
Thank
I
you
did
for
not
having
know
me on
this,
the
and
show.
hopefully you drop some gems for our community of I'm Proud of You Sis, I'm Proud of You Bro, and on Chapters Network. But I just want to
Thank
say
you.
thank you so much for coming on I'm Proud of You Sis.
Yes.
And thank you for
Thank
having this
you.
conversation about life insurance. And make sure
Yes.
everyone go check it out and check out your options. And yes, I understand it might be hard to afford life insurance, but go out there and see what life insurance amount that you can afford. Because
Right.
a little protection is better than no
There's no
protection at
protection.
all. And they also have life insurance just to maybe just cover funeral costs. So there are different
Yes, they
types
do.
of ways that you can have life insurance to protect yourself and to protect your loved ones. So thank you
Right.
so much, everyone, for joining. I'm Proud of You, Sis. And I'll see you next week. And thank you, Miss Charles, for coming on my show. Have a good day,
Thank you for having
everyone.
me.
Good night. Bye. Bye.